company she's going to talk about. I don't think I'll be the right person to talk about. So, Sonia, I'm going to hand it over to you. What is Fun of Fable all about, and what made you start this concept?
So, fun or fable. The word itself will tell you that it's all about stories. So, we believe that stories should be told to children from the very start so that they can develop their, imagination skills. And this concept of a subscription box is very much prevalent in all the Western countries, wherein, you get boxes every month with new books, new goodies, so that the child is very happy and attracted to that box because it comes as a gift to the child. So Fun of Fable is a child's reading subscription book box, is what we say. This is not an activity box. We get all our books from international markets. Why international markets? Because still in India we lack that touch that has to be given to small children's book, and that is why we try to procure the best of the books from across the world. Of course, if some books are very good in India, we pick that up as well. So, because we believe that the right literature at the right time is going to benefit your child. Similarly, like you can't just give a child your YouTube video and you can say that, you go ahead and watch anything. We keep a tab on that. Same way, you have to keep a tab as to what they're reading. So, Fun of Fable is that. I started this because when I had my baby 3 years back, I was struggling to get good books because my friends who were in US and UK, they were reading such beautiful books for their children. And I was like, okay, I also want that. And then there were times when I ordered on Amazon, the books were not good. The content was not up to the standard which I wanted. So all these things led me to create a company for mothers who are struggling to get the right books for their children.
Okay, fantastic. And trust me, when you know that there's a company out there doing a research and finding out books, right books for your kids, you tend to feel a relief that, I don't have to, because otherwise there was not such concepts in India, and we would go to Crossword and always wonder कि कौन से books ले हम बच्चों के लिए,
Okay.
Because as parents also, I think we are not educated enough yet to understand that what books to pick up, because reading is still not a big concept in India. Now it has become, but we are still growing in it, I feel.
But there is another thing. I would not say that people are not aware, but as a new mother, you yourself know.
Yes, exactly.
Do you even have the time to do that research to figure out what books you should be reading?
Yes, that's
So
also
that
the
is
right
one
thing to
thing.
do.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so Sonia, tell me, what is the right age? So before we started this chat yesterday, I wanted to get a quick review from everyone that what do you think is the right age to introduce books? Because मैंने कई लोगों को पूछा and they're like 6 महीने का हो जाता है बच्चा, 1 साल का हो जाए, 3 years. Some say कि you start reading when the baby is in your womb, or you start reading from the day one. So what is, not scientifically anything, but what do you think is the right age for a child to start reading, or parents to start reading to their child?
So scientifically also I'll answer this, and personally
Okay.
also I'll answer this. So scientifically speaking, you should start talking to your child when your child is 3 months in your womb, because that is when the hearing skills start developing. They start relating to your voice and they are soothed and they are calm because they're going to come to a new world. And that is the reason why all the experts around the world will tell you that when your baby is in the womb, you should be listening to nice soothing songs, bhajans. You should read good stuff. And it's not only the experts. Even I am sure your mother-in-law, your mother would have told you that listen to some nice stuff, read some nice books. So there is a reason behind this, because the child starts understanding and listening even when they are inside the womb. And tell me one thing, when do you start talking to your child? When the child is born? Don't you talk to him on the very first day? Don't you start relating to the child and communicating in your language, whatever language that is. And that is when you should start reading, because reading is nothing but a communication between a parent and the child. And language is something that develops over age. So do not worry that your child is not understanding. Whatever you'll talk to them in English, in Gujarati, in Hindi, eventually they will pick it up. And a child till the age of 5, it is believed that can pick up more than 4 to 5 language just like that. So you do not have to worry that my child will not understand. So you should read from the very first day. Yes, in the womb, you can read whatever you feel like. But when they're outside the womb, you should be reading the things which are bright in color. which they can touch and feel. Probably in a period of like, month or two, they will start reaching out for the book. They will start reacting to the book. So that is when you realize that, yes, it is making a difference. And as I said, it does not matter which language you are reading in. You can read in any language which you want to teach them, but they will learn, because they are learning your mother tongue when you're talking to them. Similarly, they will learn English, they will learn any other Spanish or French or Gujarati books. If you read, they will learn those languages, because it's a blank slate there. You write whatever you want and they will pick up. And let me tell you one scientific fact about why you should be reading to a newborn. The maximum language development that happens in the brain. Can you guess when is the maximum level language development? The peak of the graph reaches at around what age? If you can just
Connection. Am I back? Am I there?
yes, now it's better. Yes, now it's better.
I don't know why this is happening. It's still
No,
stuck. Hello.
no, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, now it is better. Okay. What is the right age you said of what?
No, so the maximum language development that happens in the brain happens at what age? Like, if you can just take a guess.
6, 7. I don't know.
6, 7 years.
Yes.
You would be surprised that the maximum language development that happens scientifically in the brain happens at 7 months. So if you're not reading to your child, you have lost that milestone. So you need to read, because the maximum language, because they are imbibing everything. They are like sponges. They are imbibing everything that you read to them or talk to them. So that's why it is said that you should never talk in a baby language to a child. Talk to the child as if he or she is an adult.
Exactly what I wanted to ask, that do we really need to talk to a language like oh mera beta, oh lulu, and this is the basic thing what we put a lot of time in doing that rather than reading like a mature person. So reading out like a normal human being is more better, or doing those puppy language is going to help
So
anyway.
puppy language comes very naturally to everyone, because children are so cute. But at the same time, talk to them in a normal tone as if you're talking to a matured person, because that's when they learn what you're talking and how they should be responding once they grow up. So make sure that you talk to them normally. Sometimes Lala Lulu is fine, but yeah, generally you should communicate with them as if they are understanding everything. And they will, trust me on this. You will see it in your journey.
This is also a thing that, everybody knows that the kids learn at a very young age, but parents sometimes don't accept the fact that they have to bring books and they have to create that development in the child's young age. They sometimes feel like, nahi na, bada ho jayega, tab seekh hi lega. That's the a notion we all carry around. Even there is a very basic thing. When you sent me books to introduce it to Manav, my whole, not everybody, but there were few people around me were like, oh, abhi se tujhe Manav ko padhana hai. Dekh beta, tujhe padhane lag gayi mummy, This
I'm
is the
sure it was
concept.
Bridget. I'm very sure it was
Bridget was like, he's also, of course, new to this. So he's also always worried, ki, what is the point of reading out? He's always so cranky. He's always crying, cribbing, or sleeping. What is the point? Leave it. When we grow up, we'll do all this, So it's a basic notion we all have, at least in India, a lot of people still have this, ke, abhi se padhana hai tujhe,
So, Priyanka, I'll tell you, in all Western countries, the ritual that they follow every day before the child goes to sleep is first they'll bathe them, then they will feed them. And once they bathe and feed them, what they will do is they will put them to bed. And when they're putting them to bed, the first thing that they do is, read books to them, irrespective of the age that the child is in. So the reason why they do it, because pediatricians across the world, they have said that, you should read to a child before the child is sleeping, because that puts them into a routine. They are doing it, and the child should be read to from the very young age. The reason why we connect to, books to studies and education is because we have been taught like that, right? Reading books is as good as going to school. No, that's not. That's when you put a barrier in learning and in fun. Don't you like stories? We all love stories. irrespective of who is telling it, we will sit and listen to that. Same is the
True.
case when it comes to children. But when you start reading from a very young age, they start relating to reading books as fun as playing with toys. They will never be reluctant to read. And once you start reading is when they grow multiple times. So tell me, in your day-to-day conversation, will you be talking about a polar bear? Will you be talking about a penguin? No, right? Will you
No.
be using words like tantalizing and enormous and gigantic? No. That is what readings bring in. When you converse with a child in English, it is a research done. It's called a million word gap research. When you converse with a child in English completely, till the age of 5, the child will only hear 4,000 words because that is a normal vocabulary that we converse in. When you read to a child at least 5 books a day till the age of 5 years, you will be surprised that the child will have a vocabulary of 14 lakh words. That is 1.4 million words. So you can imagine the gap of 4,000 and 14 lakhs. So you are
Yeah.
exposing your child to that kind of vocabulary. You are teaching him that reading is fun. Reading is not studies. So reading is very
So
important.
even if people who want their child to grow better in terms of vocabulary, language, overall personality development, that all also comes with reading books rather than
Yes.
just studying, right? Because there's a difference you create between reading books, school, and reading your books at home. So
Yes.
there's a difference you have to create as well, I think, among the child.
So Einstein said that, if you want your child to be very smart, read fiction to them. If you want your child to be more smart, read more fiction, more fairy tales to them. So, it
Oh,
comes from the guru, that he is telling, because reading helps you build your imagination. When you can imagine, you can create, you can discover things. And that's a beautiful thing. And you
like
will
Harry
see,
Potter, if you see Harry
yeah.
Potter, when you read, you imagine everything what is being told in the book, and when you see a movie, you see what the director or somebody is creating.
Yeah. You're
So I
seeing their
think
imagination. So it's good
yes.
to imagine yourself. So that is the beauty of reading. I wanted to answer one more question which you asked, that, my child becomes very cranky. How should I read? I don't know whether I should be even reading to a newborn. For that five
Yeah, my
minutes that
next
you're,
question was that how do you read it out to a little one, newborn, that they're so cranky, they're always so disturbed in their day, they don't want to hear anything. So how do you read it out to them?
you do not have to show it to them initially because they are not
Okay.
ready to see right now. When they are
Okay.
calm is when they will actually look. So does Manav play with a rattle? If yes, at the same time when he's playing with a rattle, you can show him the book. Just show it to him. Don't even read. Or probably when you're putting him to bed, read it. Don't show it to him so he can understand the rhymes and rhythms that your voice is going through. And the most important thing, please do not read it as if, okay, one Sunday morning, the one came up. No, give your voice that life. Do not bring the monotony. Give it the life. One Sunday morning, the warm sun came up and pop, like this. These are the sounds, and the expressions when you do. Any child would be attracted that, something is going on. I think I should go and listen to that. So I think that is one thing which all the parents should understand, that you cannot read to a child as if you're reading to an adult. You have to become a child while reading a child's book. Secondly, try to show it to them initially because the children are very small, they're tiny, they will not be very, their attention span is too small. Just show it to them. Just talk to them. You need not even read what is written. Just show it to them that, this is an apple, this is a chair, this is a red color, and just flip through the book. Slowly and steadily, you will start seeing the change in your child, and then you will start accepting, and that's when you start reading while showing. And another time is when you're making him sleep. You just read it, and he will listen to the rhythm of your sound. You need not show him. He's sleeping, he's feeding. Just while he's feeding, just read it to him. Just spend that
Okay. Yeah, because
precious
even
five
I
minutes.
tried to, when I was trying to bring, of course I'm also new to this. I've never done this. So I was also very lost that Manav doesn't look at the book. He gets very cranky. So what do I do? So I've decided whenever he's just looking around here and there, I would do what I like reading. I read it in my way and I just leave it there. Whatever he would understand, I think with time we see the change in them, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So my customers, like my youngest customer was 45 days old, and now she's 1.5. And we received a wonderful review from the mother, and she said she's just 1.5, and she's saying complete sentences in English, and she was so happy with that. And that is how it comes up with reading. When you keep reading, is the changes you'll see gradually in the child.
Because I even when I spoke to a couple of my friends that why don't you get books, I know a lot of parents who are bringing up their child, who are new parents, they have not started they
Reading.
don't even thought about bringing books to their
Correct.
life, they lose, I think they lose that whole time also 1 year ke baad suddenly they realize if somebody tells them they will get into it. But consciously if I tell them now that get these books, it's going to be very interesting for you as a parent as well. They're like, I'll see, send me the books, I'll see if I feel like abhi nahi baad mein karenge, let's see thoda bada ho jaye, so I think, but then you're losing that time, you're losing the precious
Yeah.
time when the if a
You're
baby
losing
can understand,
milestones.
if your baby can understand your language which the baby has no clue about, I think they can understand what we are reading to them as well. So why do
Absolutely
we
correct.
think that they cannot understand that?
See, another
For
thing
them,
is that you
everything
said
is
that,
new.
no, another thing that you said that, they've already missed out on a year because a mother is too busy. Mother is too busy doing other things to just make sure that the baby is there and healthy. It's a
Exactly.
big task. It's a 24 hours job. And that's when we come into picture and we're like, okay, you need not do anything. You just order and we will send you the right books and just read it to your child. So read it from the like first day when your child is born. And there is nothing called as it's not the right time. Any time you pick up the book is the right time. Many parents have, I've seen that they feed their children using mobile phones, and they'll show them TV because they want to
Yeah.
distract, because it's very difficult to feed a child. It's difficult, I agree, but doing it with a mobile phone or a TV is not the right thing. Pick up a book, show the book to your child, and I'm sure they will develop that habit of reading while sitting, because that's when they are sitting, that's when they are focused. They can't be like toddlers have full of energy. They'll be running here and there and they will not read. So the best time is when they are eating and sitting, or they are sleeping. So introduce slowly and they will develop
I
the
also
love.
have this thing that if we start reading in front of them, that also brings up a development that they feel that they should all, because they replicate what parents do. So
Yes,
there are
yes, yes.
certain habit changes what parents also should be doing to bring that change in their child, right? If you are watching something while eating, they're going to do the same or want to do the same. If you are reading in your bedtime, they would also want to do that in their
Yes.
bedtime. So I think that change in parents' habits also will make a change in their habits,
That,
right?
that that's yes. So children do what they see and not what they are told. So that is very important for us, because then they start relating books to leisure. They are not
Yeah.
relating books to burden, a chore which they have to complete. They start relating it to, okay, I love reading, my parents love reading books, probably it's something good, right? So that is how it works with children.
Yeah. So because even when I was now when I have Manav and when I look back at my childhood, I feel like I couldn't read and I lost that interest because I never saw people around reading. I always
Reading.
wanted to read newspaper because my father was reading newspaper. My dadaji used to read newspaper. My mummy used to read newspaper. My grandmother used to read newspaper. So that is the only thing we remember about reading
Yeah.
because newspaper is the only thing we have generally seen around us.
I'll,
So I
I'll
think
show you how beautiful children books can be, okay? I
okay.
mean, I play with this more than my daughter because, it's so interactive. So the books that you pick up should be equally interesting, interactive, to keep your child occupied. And as you
True.
rightly said, when you show interest in this book, tell me, will not Manav come up and tell me, okay, I also want to play with this finger puppet. I also want to read what is the
Yeah.
story. So create that, environment, create that magic when you read. When they see a new toy, they have a twinkle in the eye. And that is the
True.
twinkle they should have when they receive a new book. So, that is, again, it's the mystery that we have to create. that, it comes, of course, with the Fun of Fable box, because we package it in such a way that every month there is a gift which is being received by the child. But at the same time, if the parent is equally excited receiving it, the child will be. So you're very right to say that the child emulates what the parent does. So yes, you should be doing things like that.
Yeah. Okay. So, quickly tell me, firstly, I want to understand that how do people subscribe from your package? Where do they go, and do they have to select the books, or you, and how do you pick up, you guys pick up the books for them, or the parents have to select the books?
Yeah, so it's a subscription box. So how subscription models work is, we as a team, we will select the books as per your child's age, interest, and reading history. When I say reading history, there are different age groups wherein, we have seen certain children who are like 6 and 7 years old. They have started reading chapter books. They have started reading Harry Potter. We cannot send them picture books, but there are certain children who are still not doing that. So we have to select the books as per their reading history. When it comes to small children, we generally stick to books which are hardbound, which are board books, so that they do not tear it. Because many parents say, we do not want to buy a book, our children tear it. They don't understand that, tearing is also a part of the process. If they are chewing it, they are loving the book. So that's why we make sure that we send them board books, so that they are not easily torn. And if they are bright in color, always select the book which is bright in color for small children. And, the illustrations are beautiful. So once you subscribe, like, we have different forms like 4 months, 8 months, and 12 months, a single book subscription, a double book subscription. We have plans for even siblings. Let's say you have 2 children, and then, you can pick up a sibling box. We will send you books as per the age, interest, and, liking of your child every month. And, in case if you think that, okay, I probably have these books, what if you send me the same books? So we always ask parents to send us the exhaustive list of books that they have. Just keep it in a frame, click a picture, and send it to us, and we'll try to make sure
Yeah.
that you do not get a repetition. So,
So,
and our
yeah,
research, our
yeah.
research team, they do a great job in finding out the best of the books, procuring them again from different markets in the world, so that we give you the best. So that is how the
Can we
subscription model
also
works.
ask you to send, can you send me these books? ऐसा भी होता है कि no? That doesn't
No, we
happen.
take recommendations. We take recommendations because, because it's a subscription box, the books keeps changing. So in case if your recommendation is really good and it goes with our expert teams, then we try to procure those books and get it to you. And you can visit our website and, funofable.com, or you can order it through our Instagram page, Facebook page, our WhatsApp, anything. We are available everywhere.
Okay, so Sonia, one last question. Uh, when should we introduce flashcards to children? Do you want to answer that?
Yeah, so flashcards are equally the same thing. Like when you show them books, flashcards are just, you can just introduce it as young as a first 1 day baby, right? The thing I would add to that is, very young children like Mana, till the age of 3.5, 4 months, they don't see colors a lot. So they see black and white and contrasting colors a lot. So that's why the flashcard to be introduced to very young children are black and white flashcards that you should introduce. And they're as good as showing them an apple, right? I personally never showed my child a flashcard, because flashcards will have same things which we have around the house. I would rather
In
show the
real life,
thing.
yes.
Yeah, I would rather show a ball and try it. My child will try
To
to
touch
hold
it,
it,
yes.
texture,
Get the sense
he
of
will
it,
feel. Yeah.
yes.
So I would rather do that rather than flashcards. Similarly with alphabets also, I never showed my child flashcards, because I like them to play with the alphabet. So I have magnetic alphabets with which they are playing, and sticking it everywhere on the, anywhere which is, the fridge or the board. And that's how I feel that, it works. But yes, flashcards are good if you want to introduce them to even very small child. So there is no age group, I should say. You can start teaching the child from the very first day. I'm sorry, I retract that word, not teaching, but helping them grow in multiple ways. So
Hmm.
you can do it from the very first day. As I said, it's a blank slate. Keep writing whatever you want.
Yeah, so right age to start reading, we just answered you guys in the whole chat. There is no right age. The day your child is born, you can start reading it out to them. Make it your fun activity rather than the child's, and automatically the child will develop and grab it as an interesting part of their life. So don't worry,
And to
guys.
add to that, you are never too late as well. So even if you have still not started reading, please do, because if still you won't, then it will be late.
And even I feel we now in today's generation where everything is about social media, watching videos and everything about how video dekh liya, YouTube and all, everything we want it so handy that we've stopped reading things through books and through, papers. So I think keeping this whole concept of reading is very important to
I
keep
would,
yourself away from social media as well.
no, not just that, I would add one thing here. Many people come and tell me that my child knows Spanish. You know why? Because they watch YouTube videos. I have done a lot of research as to a child should be introduced to, digital world or the books. And all the research across the world have said that the things which books can give you can never be, taken away from digital media. So please do not believe that your child is doing very great because they know a full ABCD just by looking at a YouTube video. No, that is not a right thing to do. I mean, it's okay for their pastime because, in this digital world, you cannot stop them from screen time. But try and reduce the screen time because it does not add a lot of value. Books do. So yeah, stick to books. Do not put them away.
Okay, one last question before we wrap it up, guys. Sonia, one last question. How do you
Yes, yes,
differentiate
yes.
reading a book and reading your school books? What is the benefit, the actual benefit, what we talk about reading books?
So when you want to read leisure reading, you will never get some mystery or adventurous book or a book about. So when you want to do leisure reading, you can pick up any genre from the world and you can read that, right? And that's what we want to try to introduce to children, that reading is not equivalent to studying. I don't like geography, I don't want to read it. But probably if geography is taught to me in the way of a story, or history is told me in the way of a story. Let me tell you a story about one man who came from South Africa, who was wearing lungi and he changed the world. I think you would be interested to know who this guy is, right? Rather than
Sure.
mugging up in history, okay, Gandhi ji came to India and he did this and he fought in this date, he fought this war. So that is what reading brings to the child. It brings imagination, it brings that leisure activity. Once they start relating books to leisure, you will never have to struggle with their education, never, because then they will know more things what they are being taught to that. So never connect these two, never force a child to read. It's a very good saying that everybody is born reader, only the thing is that they have not found the right book yet.
Oh,
So
how.
yeah, so do not connect these two things and then make it boring for children.
Okay. On that note, guys, thank you so much for being around. Thank you so much, Sonia. And yes, Kirti, they do ship all across India. So
Yes,
you guys can go to their Instagram page, their Facebook page, or
the
you can
our
reach out
website as
there.
well.
Yes, their website as well. You might have a company number as well, right, Sonia?
Yes,
What
yes.
they
So
can reach out to?
everything is available on our Instagram, Facebook page, or our website, that is
So I'm going to
funofable.com.
tag them, guys. You can reach them out directly. And thank you. And you guys can leave me questions if you want. I will send it across to Sonia and she will answer them to you personally. And or you can just leave a DM to their page. So thank you, guys. Please start reading. If you haven't, don't worry that what is the right